everyone. A little bit of a different structure to today's art video. I thought for once I might actually do a voiceover and speak to you guys while I'm painting. Now, normally I just sort of like play some nice pretty music and just time-lapse everything, and that's the whole painting video, but seeing as today I'm going to be doing a 2017 self-portrait, I thought that that might be a little bit narcissistic, so I thought I might have a bit of a conversation about style and how my style has changed since I really buckled down with illustration again. Now, normally I also show you the sketching process of my artwork, but I didn't think initially I was going to make this into like my new official self-portrait, so I never bothered to record myself sketching it. This took maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes or 30 minutes to draw. The more and more I sketch, the faster I get at doing like a consistently decent quality sketch really quickly. So it's just going to be this one. This sketchbook is just my Winsor & Newton like graphite sketching book. It's got rather thin paper, so I only use lead and graphite on it. I used a little bit of Copic stuff on it, but it's not the best of Copics. Whereas this is my mixed media sketchbook that I showed in my, I think it was my Inktober supplies video. But yeah, I've already done a Copic version of this picture. I'm reasonably happy with how it turned out, but it looks quite different to the original sketch, so I'm going to try again in digital. I don't really speak about this very much in this channel, as I've just noticed, but my art style has changed exponentially in the last 12 months, or even the last like 18 months. This here is an illustration I did, supposed to be of myself, about a year ago. This has been my Instagram DP for the last like whole year. And as you can see, it's a very different style to the sketch I just did. I think this is a much weaker illustration, and I much prefer the style that I've recently developed. It's taken a lot of work and a lot of practicing and a lot of investment, but I'm really quite proud that my illustrations have gotten better, and I'm really happy about it. Especially when you consider about 2 years ago I uploaded this video. This is still up on my channel, I'm pretty sure, but it's not nearly as good as what my illustration is like at the moment. And given how much stress I've been in finishing my undergraduate degree and all of the other commitments I've had, I've not had all that much time to invest into illustration, but even with the small amount of time that I have, it's just, I've improved so much, and I'm so happy about that. So yeah, I thought it would be nice to just, because it's, you know, it's 2017, it's a new year, all that kind of stuff, I wanted to do a new portrait and just have a bit of a discussion with you guys, because I haven't done that. I haven't done a voiceover on top of one of my art videos before, so I just thought, why not? So yeah, we're just gonna jump straight to the video and I will show you the painting process. Hey guys, so I'm just going to start speaking about the illustration now. I've just scanned the original sketch into Photoshop. I absolutely hate sketching anything on Photoshop. It feels so unnatural for me to sketch on a tablet. I kind of want to improve my skill of sketching on Photoshop, but it just feels the most natural to me to actually sketch in a sketchbook and then take a picture of the illustration or just scan it to the computer. Sometimes I'll do an outline of the entire sketch digitally and then paint from that, but often I just paint straight over the picture or straight over the scan, which is what I'm doing now. So the first thing I do with this kind of illustration is I block out all of the flat colours so that I can add the detail later. I do this so that I know that all of the colours go together really nicely, and that if there's any like tonal shading, I don't have to go back and fix it later when I realise that I don't like the way the colours look together. Here I'm just giving her winged eyeliner. The darkest part of my illustrations are invariably going to be the like eyelashes and the eyes, because I like that being the focal point of any portrait. For a lot of my female characters I do winged eyeliner because I love winged eyeliner personally. But yeah, even like male characters that I do, the top lash line is always very dark. So yeah, I had a bit of trouble with this illustration in getting the eyes to look consistent. You can see in a minute me trying to like flip around the portrait and like trying to get them to look similar. I actually set up a Photoshop action so that my
Photoshop would flip back and forth really, really easily, and I find that this is the best way to check if things look right. Like you can see here her eyes look a bit dodgy. So yeah, I've just struggled a tiny bit to get them to look actually realistic in the way that she didn't look like she was like looking off in two different directions, or her eyes looked like they were mismatched in size. Flipping the canvas is the easiest way for me to fix this, so that's why I flip it back and forth so many times. The glasses are a little bit dodgy, I'm well aware of that, but I kind of liked the imperfect style of them. I don't like my paintings being really, really perfect or really, really precise, because trying to be super duper perfect in my drawings makes me really frustrated. That's why I love the Painterly technique I've started developing, because if there's a stroke or if there's something out of line, it doesn't look ridiculous. I just like things being a bit more laid back in illustration. See that here I'm just adding a rough amount of blush to her face. Oh, these freckles, I actually decided to get rid of these freckles after this because they just looked like dirt. Like they looked really, really bad, so I actually got rid of them. I added in a bit of shadow on her, oh, there's Lana Del Rey. I added in a bit of shadow on her nose just to make it look like a proper nose. I wouldn't normally add the nose bridge shadow, but I did in this one. But yeah, I just really like this sort of textured look. Like it's still a 2D illustration, but like the blush on her face is really, really textured, and the hair is about to start getting textured, I think, as well. So I'm just also putting some flowers in her hair because I love flowers. I love anything botanical or floral. Flowers make me very happy, so. I should note, the way I do shadows, I always add like a really, really strong violet purple sort of tone as a clipping mask, and then reduce the opacity to between 10 and 20%. This is my favorite way to do shadows, and I think it just makes it the most interesting. I actually learnt that tip on Pinterest, so Pinterest is really good for finding out tips and tricks for digital illustration. I quite love Pinterest as a tool for illustration and that sort of thing. Here I'm just adding in some little details for flyaway hairs and stuff. I love this bit. I love adding in imperfections and making everything look a bit like it doesn't have to be perfect. These little details, I think, make everything look just so much more interesting and storybookish and textured and all that sort of thing, so I like adding them in. Generally I do it towards the end of the painting because it's like my most favourite part to do, so I look forward to it whenever I do an illustration. And yeah, I'm just adding some shadow to her eyes. I kind of wish I didn't because she looks really sleepy because they look kind of red toned, but I don't know, they also offset the eyes a little bit, so they look quite nice. And yeah, that's just the end of the illustration. I added a blue background and I added some raindrops to her shirt, my little watermark signature thing, and that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed my running commentary during the illustration process. Please let me know if you actually liked this type of painting video where I actually speak about what I'm doing and all that kind of stuff, and I'll consider doing more of them. I don't know which I prefer more, whether I prefer doing just music or if I prefer talking, so please let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed the video and have a lovely day. Bye.